Growing an e-commerce brand profitably is hard, but go even a step further than this and talk about how to grow your e-commerce brand sustainably over the course of the next couple of years, right? This is even harder, and this is where the majority of even, really great brands fail at. And therefore, this is what we're going to talk about in today's video. So let's hop straight into it. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what I and a lot of other great brands out there call the 4-peak theory, right? For those of you who have been around once or twice already, they know that, usually I am talking about nitty-gritty ad tactics and creative hacks that you can implement within your ad account in order to improve your results and increase your returns with Facebook ads. However, today I kind of wanted to turn the tables a little bit and talk about what I genuinely believe to be the strategy that actually grows your brand sustainably and profitably over the long run. And that is what the really great brands out there do, the Allbirds, the Lululemons. So I'm really eager to share that strategy with you guys, and credit where credit is due. This is not something that I have invented. This is something that great brands do and have been doing for a while already. And this is also what the really great agencies out there educate their clients upon in order to really drive that what I like to call artificial momentum. So, let's hop straight into it and talk about, those 4 peaks and what e-commerce brands usually do wrong right now. So the majority of e-commerce brands out there operate on what I like to call the 2-peak revenue year, right? The 2-peak revenue year, as the name already suggests, has 2 peaks, which is, usually like every other brand out there also has, somewhere around the holidays, right, where you have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and just generally kind of, sales momentum happening within the general culture, right? However, apart from that, you will also have probably some type of a gifting moment or some type of moment that particularly plays into your brand's cards, right? Let's say, for example, Father's Day, where, your brand, your product is just generally, being gifted a lot more, and therefore you have a sales peak that you can also play into. So those are usually the 2 peaks that you have and that most e-commerce brands out there have. And probably if you're the owner of an e-commerce brand, or if you're working at an e-commerce brand and you take a look at the last couple of years, you can probably identify this pattern within your Google Analytics or Shopify Analytics. So you have those sales peaks, those 2 sales peaks on the holidays, as well as in this, let's just call it gifting moment on Father's Day. However, in those other times, right, for example, in the beginning of the year, as well as probably around the third quarter, usually ROAS as well as spend is down. Although, we are not necessarily worse media buyers or worse growth marketers in that time, right? ROAS and spend is down, and then the age-old question arises: does the ad account drive the demand, or is the success of the ad account actually being driven by the demand of the product and brand? And this strategy essentially is based upon the theory that general moments like holidays, as well as kind of those gifting moments or cultural moments, really drive also the success in the ad account, right? Obviously, in my opinion, you can also really grow this momentum or this demand to a certain extent with your ad account and with kind of creative strategies whatsoever. However, those really big uptakes and those really big trends that actually really make or break an ad account, and where you can really see those spikes within performance and spend, usually are being driven by those outside moments, right? Outside of the ad account, right? Like product drops, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, gifting moments, cultural moments whatsoever. So usually, as I said, you have those 2 peaks, and in the other times, usually your ROAS and spend is down. Other disadvantages of this 2-peak revenue year, so obviously the decreased cash flow that you have, for example, then usually in the third quarter, where you have to lay out cash in order to prepare for those high peak sales moments in the fourth quarter, or like Black Friday, Cyber Monday in particular. So you have a decreased cash flow within your business, which also ultimately leads to a decreased ability to actually purchase enough inventory for those highest sales moments, which then leads to an increased risk because cash is down, and the ability to forecast accurately is also not the best. So you essentially have those three disadvantages when it comes to the two peak revenue year, right? You have a decreased cash flow, which comes at an increased risk, and also not, kind of a lower ability to properly buy stock in order to properly prepare for those, high peak sales moments, right? So essentially, this really kind of puts you at a disadvantage compared to all the other brands out there that actually implement that 4 peak theory that I'm about to reveal to you guys. So having talked about those 2 peaks, that usually most e-commerce brands have within their yearly revenue, trend, what do actually great brands do? And I'm talking about the Lululemons, I'm talking about the Allbirds, I'm talking about the Modern Bows, right? That are, just having having a progressive growth curve and can actually, properly, proactively counter those disadvantages, like decreased cash flow, right? Higher risk because of the inability to accurately forecast those high peak sales moments, as well as having this, cash tied up within an inventory that you have to purchase in front of those high peak sales moments. So with that being said, what do those great brands do? And they have the 4 peak theories. So let's take a look at another graph for you to see what I mean with those 4 peak theories and how to implement that 4 peak theory. So, with the 4 peak theory, you also have this holiday sales peak, which would always be big for every brand. There is really a big momentum in those, Black Friday, Cyber Mondays, which is obvious. However, then you also have that gifting moment. Let's call it just for today, the Mother's Day, or I just call it the Mother's Day or Best Friends Day whatsoever, right? Where you also really can tap into with your product, or just generally have some type of a gifting moment that you can play into. However, apart from those 2 sales peaks, you have this dry period, really, not necessarily maybe in the first quarter, maybe in the third quarter. You really have to analyze your own patterns right there for you to properly understand, okay, where do I have those sales peak moments? Because those are just examples that I'm giving you right now, right? Maybe your particular product is not giftable at all, and you do not actually have any sales peak when it comes to Mother's Day, Father's Day, Siblings Day, whatever day there is out there, right? And you don't really can't really tap into that gifting moment. But you probably maybe you're a pretty sustainable brand, and then Earth Day is pretty big, or maybe you are kind of like some type of a fashion or kind of clothing brand where other days are big, like for example maybe Halloween, or other days in the third quarter, right? Obviously, the majority of brands, apart from holiday, do have some type of a sales peak. Also, if it's just only a product drop that you have happening on a yearly basis. However, let's focus on this gifting moment just for the sake of this example right now. But just on a quick side note, you want to make sure that you actually analyze your particular patterns for your particular brand and then plan around that. Because this is what great brands do. Because in those valleys, right, in those dry periods, you, as I said, have those disadvantages, like decreased cash flow, decreased ability to actually purchase enough inventory for those high sales moments. So in those dry periods, you want to increase the artificial momentum and demand with different ways. You can do that with a product drop. So let's say, for example, here we are putting a product drop, or you can also tap into a cultural momentum, moment. I really like to tap into those niche specific and cultural moments, because they're not only really a reason for somebody, for your particular target audience to purchase something, or to for your brand to generally have a sales peak, but they're also usually really on brand, and therefore you're really well with running an offer, or running some type of a campaign around those days, like 4th of July, Cinco de Mayo, National Pats Day, right, Women's Day. All of those niche specific or cultural moments you can really tap into in order to actually run a campaign around that sales day and make sure that you have another peak within your yearly trend and revenue trend. So as you can see, if we compare the 4 peak theory with the 2 peak theory, we do have those, similar moments like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and holidays, right? As well as the gifting moment that we can tap into within our brand. However, by implementing the 4 peak theory, you actually avoid having all the disadvantages of the 2 peak theory by, producing and increasing the artificial demand within this dry period, right? You have this product drop right there, as well as the cultural momentum right here that not only gives you a better ability to forecast, as well as, you know, have more cash flow at hand that gives you, you know, more options to grow profitably, as well as have a decreased risk. But it also gives you a more progressive type of growth curve, right? You can really grow more sustainably, and probably also scale quicker within those with this 4 peak theory. And the reason for that is because in all those different sales peak moments, you also have an influx of new customers, which are then more likely to actually return to you and buy more products further down the line with the help of your email flows, with the help of your other new product drops next year, right? Within Black Friday, Cyber Monday offers, right? Those are all moments where then this additional influx in new customers that you have acquired throughout those sales peak moments, which gave you the ability to spend more money on paid social and acquire more new customers than with just a 2 peak year revenue model. This will then just to give you generally the ability to be able to grow quicker and more sustainably over the long run. I know that this is a lot for just a 10-15 minute video, but I genuinely think that if you implement that correctly, and this is what we try to implement for all our clients that we work on a close basis with here at Victory Media, then you have a huge advantage. You know, and a huge head start compared to the other brands and your other competitors in the space because of the mentioned, you know, advantages of a better cash flow within your business, right? The better ability to actually, you know, to actually forecast your sales days, right? Because you just have more data and more accurate data at hand. And then last but not least, you obviously also, due to the reason that you have more cash at hand, can, you know, better really go ahead and purchase inventory for those particular sales days, and really tap into them even more, and, you know, kind of avoid running out of the particular variant of the particular product that might generate that extra $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in revenue on those high sales days. So with that being said, I know that this is maybe a little bit much for a 10-15 minute video. If you want to know more about this 4 peak theory and the particular disadvantages or advantages that you have at hand when it comes to a 4 peak theory versus a 2 peak theory, and how you can really properly implement this 4 peak theory within your e-commerce brand, then make sure to drop a comment below or reach out to me at victor@thevictorymedia.com, and I'll be more than happy to chit chat even further with you. Or drop a comment below and I'll make more videos about that strategy. Either way, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button right below and like this video if you want to know more about the most recent e-commerce growth trends, as well as how to implement strategies and all the hacks within your ad account to improve and increase your results with Facebook ads. Either way, I hope I see you on next Thursday. Keep growing.
Thank you so much for watching the video to this point. I know that if you've come this far, that you form a part of an exclusive group of people that do not only talk, but walk the talk, and that you are hungry for more content. So therefore, I went ahead and picked out an exclusive video just for you that I know you're going to love. Check it out right here.